What is going on, everybody? SeanPierce Johnson here with this week's edition of Stompbox Saturday. And boy, oh boy, do I have something special on the Stomp Block for you guys this week. It is the Limbo Overdrive from Nunomo LLC, a new company that is definitely pushing the boundaries with some of their effects. And we're going to take a look at two of them, starting with the Limbo. This is a very cool overdrive pedal, and the name fits its function. It lives somewhere between the overdrive and distortion realm, and is kind of in that gray area where it can kind of shift between the two. It is a variable clipping voltage overdrive, so it can do a whole lot more than your standard overdrive pedal, and we're going to dive into it today. So let's take a look at the controls, see what we're working with, and then we will get into how you can get the most out of Limbo. Now, we start with the three basic controls of an overdrive pedal with volume, drive, and tone. Pretty standard, don't need to know much else about that. But things get really interesting with these outer two knobs right here. On the left you have negative, and on the right you have positive. Now essentially what these knobs do, if we start at full counterclockwise and we slowly start to turn it up, what it's going to do is it's going to take that bottom part of a square wave and it's going to start to round it out. Pretty interesting. And positive, well, it does exactly the same thing, except on the opposite side of the sound wave. So it's going to take the top part of that square wave, and it's going to slowly turn it into a more round side. To give you guys a better example of that, I'll link in the description below a video that Nunomo has put out of them just running a test signal through the Limbo, and you can see exactly visually what the pedal is doing with those particular controls. But we're interested in how this thing sounds. So we are going to set all knobs at noon, the three main knobs at noon, and we're going to leave these two full counterclockwise. First, let's see just how much we can get out of the overdrive section, and then we'll start messing with that clipping voltage. We are using the standard setup today of my trusty Les Paul and Orange Rocker Verb 100. We are miking up with a Shure SM57 into an API, mic preamp, and into Pro Tools. And let's start out by hearing the clean tone. All right, we get a little gritty when we smack, so all knobs at noon. Here is the Limbo. Sounds pretty good already. Nice even frequency response. The gain is just giving us a little bit more grit out of it, and it sits nicely. And that's what I mean by it lives somewhere between an overdrive and a distortion, because just with these clipping voltage settings set at their lowest, where it's not really affecting the sound at all, we're getting a lot of gain out of this thing. So let's check out the tone knob now. definitely a pretty flexible tone control. Let me just sweep that once real quick. Kind of sounds like it's just a low pass frequency where it's really only affecting the high end. All right, check that out. There's a lot of range just to the overdrive section before we even start messing with the clipping voltage. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and turn the tone knob up to 3 o'clock. Gain to about 2, and back off the volume. Now let's start messing with the negative clipping voltage setting. Not really sure exactly how to refer to this other than we're messing with that part of the waveform. So I'm just gonna strum a chord and turn the knob, and you guys can hear what exactly it's doing. Turn the drive back a little bit. I kind of like it around 10, 11 o'clock. That's very, very interesting. Now let's go ahead and listen to the positive side. It's starting to get really big and beefy. Now the real magic comes when you start combining those two to get different settings. And see how that kind of changed up the EQ structure? So it's almost like those two variable clipping voltage controls are acting as a secondary EQ stage. Pretty nice. Let's keep messing with those. See how that, now it's gotten a little bit more mellow, not so aggressive. It's almost like now we can hear a little bit, sorry, pardon the dirty pot. It's almost like we can start to hear the original clean tone under that now with that setting. Now let's go ahead and try something with a backed off gain. gets big and kind of like a little tube amp on the verge of just exploding. So as you can see, there's a lot of versatility to the controls to get you a ton of different clean sounds. Well, at least overdrive sounds on a clean setting. Let's go ahead and switch over to the drive channel of the Rock Reverb and then use the Limbo in front of that. And then I'll show you guys my favorite settings. All right, turning on Limbo with everything in kind of the standard starting point. Ooh, that sounds nice. I like that. Adds a little bit of aggression. The gain structure is just a little bit more hefty, but it's also a little fuzzier. I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot. Let's go ahead and try for a dirtier, more sludgy kind of sound. The tone circuit almost gives us like a cocked wah kind of thing. Woo! That is cool. That is really nice. All right, now let's start messing with the variable clipping voltage on this. I'm going to go ahead to that lower gain setting, a little bit more brightness to it, and give it a little push from the volume. All right, let's try out and see the negative, what that's going to do to our sound. Woo, that's fun. It's a little beefier, but it's almost like it's tightening up a little bit. Now let's go ahead and mess around with the positive side of the clipping voltage. wow. Super flexible. Man, this is really fun. I'm having a lot of fun doing this right now. Now let's combine the two and find the setting that would sound good. That's like a big muff kind of thing going on right there. And just in its size, it feels really big. Man, that is crazy. That is really flexible. We can get a whole host of different sounds. It can get a lot more bigness, a lot more cut in the mid-range. That tone circuit is really interesting on a dirty tone. It takes on a different character than it does on a clean sound. Wow. Very cool, very flexible, and that's just giving you guys an idea of the different adjustments you can do. Now what I want to do is jump over and show you my personal favorite settings on Limbo. everybody. That is the Limbo Variable Clipping Voltage Overdrive from Nunomo LLC. This pedal is a lot of fun. It has a whole lot of different tone shaping options, and if you're one of those people who's looking for something just a little bit different than the standard overdrive fare that's currently available, I highly recommend you take a look at this one. It is a ton of fun, and I've been having a lot of fun experimenting with it. Now, of course, being that it's not like everything else that's out there, there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. You might not find the tones right away, but give it some time. Have a little bit of patience and just play for the enjoyment of it. You will find something that you enjoy and something that will surprise you. I want to say a big thank you to Ryan over at Nunomo for sending this my way and wanting me to take a look at it and show it off to you guys. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I want to know what you guys thought of the Limbo Overdrive. Shoot me a comment below with your thoughts, and be sure you click the subscribe button when you see it so you don't miss the rest of this season of Stompbox Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next week, my friends, I'm SeanPierce Johnson, wishing you all great tone and happy stomping. Cheers.